Okay, Jason. So I'll go over how to replace the bill validator and a couple different ways that we can replace the ballast for the belly light. So what we want to do, want to make sure that the power is off to the machine. This is a non-working machine, by the way. It will power up, but it's got issues. It'll serve its purpose though to show you how to do this. So you've got your bill validator in yours. This will look a little different. You won't have this cone piece. This is actually for a Bally machine. But to remove the current bill validator out of your machine, all you got to do is take your thumb. There's a bar right here. Take your thumb on the top of it and kind of pull it towards you. And I don't know if you can see that. It kind of moves. It's about a 1/16 of an inch or so. Go ahead and pull it down, and then I pinch my finger down here while I'm pulling down, and then you can kind of grasp it and pull it out. And the bill validator just fits in this trough right here. You can see that there's a metal lip underneath here. So your bill validator fits between that and the bottom here, and then of course side to side. So you want to take the bill validator that I sent you. You want to take it and you can just put it in at kind of an angle like that, and then go up with it, and then you can push that back. Now on your old bill validator, the one that was in the machine, you'll have what's called a duck bill. There's a plastic piece that fits in here, and you can see it fits in between. See how there's kind of a little trough there? There's a little cutout. And what you'd got to do in order to get that out, I don't believe you had screws down here holding it in. You've got these little tabs on either side of the head. This is called the head. So you got little tabs right there. If you pull both those tabs towards you, this will pop up. The head will pop up, and then you can just lift up on that duck bill and do the same exact thing to to put it back into your new one. You know, you just reverse it. Just go ahead and pull forward on those tangs and lift up at the same time. This will open up, and then you just slide that portion of the duck bill back in here, and it'll stop. And then once it's all the way down, this should shut fairly easily. It shouldn't take a lot of force or feel anything bending, that kind of thing. So, okay, once you got that in there, this is your new one. Once you got that one in there, we'll go ahead and turn on the power. So we'll go ahead and turn on the power. We'll wait for it to fully boot up. I'm going to have all kinds of errors. Hopefully you won't. All right, so now it's fully booted. Like I say, I've got errors. I'm going to go ahead and open the door. And then we need to come in here on the MPU. There's a little white button on the MPU here. So what you want to do is press on that for 2 to 4 seconds. Okay, we'll let up on it, and that should get you where your display says 1 accounting. Okay, so what we need to go do is go into the 4 menu. So in order to do that, my buttons are going to look a little bit different because this is a multi-line game. But the service button and the cash out button will be the same on your machine. They'll just look a little different. What you want to do is hit that cash out button 3 times, and that should get you to the 4 IO tests menu. Okay, we need to enter that menu. So what we got to do is, again, these buttons look a little bit different. I think they'll be kind of a little bit further over on your machine. But what you want to do is hit this spin reels button, and that's like an enter button. So you'll notice that there's a sub menu that popped up, 4.1, and it says input tests. Okay, we want to hit that cash out button again until you get auto configured Netplex devices 4.3 lit. Once that's lit up, then you can come over here and hit that enter button again. Okay, and then you should hit it again, and it should say Netplex auto config in process. Okay, and what that's doing is it's going through all the Netplex devices. So you don't have a printer, but a printer's Netplex device, your coin converter's a Netplex device, bill validator's Netplex device, etc. So what it does is it reassigns addresses to them all to make them current. And since we replaced the bill validator, you need to reassign the address to the new bill validator so that the machine recognizes it. Once that's done, really you should be able to just shut the door. You can shut the door all the way and latch it, and that should take you back to ready to play, basically. It may take 30 seconds to 2 minutes or so for the bill validator to completely cycle and power up. I don't recall if I checked the bulbs for this yellow lens here, and I apologize if I didn't. But if this should light up when it's ready to accept bills. So sometimes it can work to where if you put a coin in, and because the coin will be ready just as soon as you shut the door, and it's, you know, it says something about insert coins or something to that effect. Once you put a coin in and play it, typically it fires up the bill validator a lot quicker, but it can take 30 seconds to a few minutes before that gets ready to take bills on it when you first power it up. So so be patient with that, and but it shouldn't be any problems. I had sent you another cash can, the cash can that you've got. It looked like it was honestly, it looked like there's probably mice that had got into the machine, and that's part of the reason why there's probably problems with your bill validator. And then it looked like some of the mice stuff kind of ran down into the cash can. So just for the sake of having everything fresh, just go ahead and use the cash can that I sent with you as well. And you know how to pull the cash can out and stuff. Basically, it's just, you got a lever right here. So once you drop that lever, you should be able to pull out on the cash can, and then you can put the new one in. And you just want to make sure that lever's up just as soon as you put it in, because once you push the cash can in, the bill validator is going to cycle, and there's gears. You probably can't see them very well on this one. Yours are probably white, but there's gears here that mesh with the what they call the transport on the bill validator, and you don't want them to grind. So all right, so that's that. Now we're going to deal with the electronic ballast. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And you should be able to open your belly glass if you want to. You can certainly try it. I didn't try and force it too much, but it would not open for me. On the side of the door, you've got your latch that you lift up on to open the door, unlatch the door and open it, and then you see this little knurled knob right here. This little knurled knob is a latch for the belly glass, and if you pull out on this, it should release the belly glass door. And what makes this so nice is right there is where your electronic ballast would be, the electronic ballast starter. You got one connector that would go on the side, and this one, I believe, goes on the other side of it. That would be a lot easier to try. So if you have to kind of use your own finesse, but a guy might be able to use a pair of pliers on here and then, grip on it with pliers and pull out on that. Now, the only thing I caution you with is that, okay, you might get it open, and the reason why I didn't do it, force it too much, is, he may not be able to get this all the way back in. It could free up, though. It does look like the machine kind of was in a moist area, and so there is some rust and stuff, but I don't know if you can kind of see it or not. When I pull on the lever, all it's doing is moving this bar right here. So a guy can't even, grab this bar right here and try and move it also. In fact, they kind of give you a little cheater right here to where you can kind of use your finger and pull on that too. I'd say if you can do it with your hands, you probably will be able to get that door open that way. And that makes the repair so much easier on changing out the fluorescent bulb and that the starter ballast on the other side of this. Okay, let's say you don't want to try that and don't want to risk not being able to get that door to fully shut. So what you're going to have to do is you have your VFD display. That blue display is behind this rectangle here. And so you've got two connectors here that you'll have to remove. There's a bottom one here. You have to be very careful because this can, you can pull this little plastic housing off the board. Not the end of the world, but what you can do, what you have to do though is, see there's a little latch right here. And as you're pulling on, before you start pulling on this thing, you got to kind of press down with your finger to unlatch it so that you can pull this off. So that's what you want to do on both of these. Is this one's got it too. It's just on the other side. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but I've got my thumbnail on it. So you'll want to disconnect those, and then you'll probably have, if I remember correctly, you got to disconnect this right here from your door. You'll have this I/O card here. So to give you room to work, what you can do is just go, you can probably just pull this out with the power, since the power's off, just pull up on this and it'll kind of snap out, and you can kind of set it up on your deck here, real deck. And then that's out of the way, so you just have this cable to mess with. Okay, what you can do is there's 3 screws that hold on this piece right here. This is what we're looking to remove, is this piece right here. So you've got a screw here. Let's see, screw here. You've got a screw here, and then you got a screw here. So what I do is I take this screw out and this screw out, and then once you got a hold of this metal plate, go ahead and take this final screw out, and this will be loose. Now you've got a coin comparator here, so it's mounted to the top. It'd be up in this area. There should be 2 screws behind the comparator. You shouldn't have to take any of that stuff out. On the bottom side of the comparator, how it connects, the bottom side of the comparator mount, how it connects to here is there's a little tit that sticks up through here and goes into a little trough on the mount for the coin comparator. That little tit is spring loaded, so if you can kind of get your finger in there and push it down below that trough, this whole thing should come out then. And then you can go ahead and you'll have to kind of hold on to it. You're still going to have some wires connected and stuff, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty mobile. You can just kind of swing this open, replace that electronic ballast, and then put this all back together if you want, or you can power it on just to see if that bulb lights. Make sure that electronic ballast that's sent is good, and make sure that the bulb lights in the belly glass before you put it all back together. Just be sure that there's nothing metal touching anywhere, no connectors, no nothing touching metal. When you power it on, you just have to kind of hold on to it and power it on. But then just go in reverse. Once you get if it works and everything is good, then you can push this in, try and get it lined up to where the screw holes are close. Go ahead and try and get that tit in the trough, and then just reverse it. Put this screw in first, and then that one next, and then this one. Just don't tighten anything up until you have all 3 screws in and that the tit in place. And then just go in reverse. Take this. This is your I/O card. That just fits in a trough. It'll really only go in one way, but just make sure that the board side is facing the inner door here. Once you get it down there, just give it a good twist and or push and a wiggle, and it should sit down there. And you can kind of see the jack right there is just above the metal cutout, so that you're not just sitting there like that. So just make sure it's pretty much down, and this jack right here will be almost flush with the metal housing. And then you'll want to come over here, and it's pretty foolproof as far as being able to put this stuff in. Put your first one in, get it into that trough, and then you got your second connector, and you want to put that one in so that it's in the trough. and they'll only go in one way, so that's the good thing. I'm gonna have to stand up here. Sorry, there's not a lot of light here, but once you get those two jacked in, this is in place. You should be ready to turn it back on and play away. But I would really, if I were you, instead of doing all of what we were talking about here, I would go ahead and see if you can't get this to open, because if you can get it to open, you should be able to get it to shut. So I don't know why, if there's wires pinched somewhere or it's just rusty and kind of fused together. I didn't want to force it too much, just because it's not that hard to pull this stuff off. But with your coin converter, it does add another level of problems, difficulty, I guess I should say. But anyways, that's kind of how to do all that. I would certainly concentrate on doing your bill validator, make sure that's up and running and going, and then try and tackle the bulb or the starter, electronic starter ballast. So hopefully that helps, Jason. Like I say, if you need anything, give me a shout. I unfortunately do not have a working S2000, and especially a S2000 with coin in, coin out, handy at this time, but I will certainly help out however I can. All right, thank you so much.